Welcome back to Sky. Woo woo, c'est le sound de la police. Woo woo, c'est le sound de la beast. Heavy special Magicka DK direct damage. All what concerns light and heavy attacks like direct damage abilities, and this concerns not channeled skills or dots over time. That's not counts like direct damage. Heavy strike, if you go in 31k on a heavy attack, bam, then heal you up for 50k of health, and what comes as next? 28, 20, 31. Here we go on the main bar, we get Major Savagery and Major Prophecy because of the Flame of Oblivion. Then we are Emperor stage 4, so we take under 50% of health at 33% less damage. And both recovery and all the sneaks and the passives by the vampire. Max health and max magicka because they are sustain different, and the lower 2700 of penetration. On the main bar we have a 39k of max magicka with 700 of recovery, 18k of health with health recovery, don't look it, doesn't matter, and 10k of stamina with 500 of stamina recovery. 900 of spell damage, almost 2k, and 41.9k of spell critical. Yeah, if we gonna first boost up the resistances, we got spell resistance almost around it 20k with physical 14k. And if I drink the 3 stat pot, or you can use also immobility, how you like, then you have a little bit more of sustain, but there I sustain different, and 2300 of magic damage, but there I have to do a light attack, 2900 of magic damage. The weapon and spell damage glyph by infused is pretty much faster up than normal wise. 39k, same stats with 18k and 10k of stamina. On the back bar the recovery is all looks pretty shitty, but there I restore different with heavy attacks, you will see that later. And if we boost up first the resistances, we have same resistances, and also the weapon damage 2300 with 32% of crit, a little bit less, but there I need also a light attack from the main bar for reaching then 2600 on the back bar, 2 on the heavy and light attacks. And with the potion we got same recovery like on the main bar, and 2400 of critical resistances on both bar with this 20 and 14k of resistances, and 24k of health in the PvP then. So on the main bar we use Elegant Inferno Staff, increase the weapon and spell damage by 452 for 5 seconds, and increase the enchantment effects by 30% and the cooldown by 50%. That's while Elegant Resto Staff immobilize the victim for 3.5 seconds and increases 30% of magicka cost by every stamina and magicka player. And when I heavy attack I can proc Skoria from the heavy attack, because makes like a little bit of damage over time, the heavy attack from the rest of stuff, and also you a bunch of resources back. While I heavy attack I receive for 3 seconds major mending, my healing is increased by 25%, and also when I heavy attack by me at 30% from the damage afflicted can heal me up, and also reduces on additional 30 magicka when I complete a heavy attack. So with then tenacity together, yeah, elegant with the 3 stat glyph and all 3 jewelry, 129 spell damage, 2 times max magicka, and light and heavy attack is increased by 20% from the elegant. This will be best in slot also for next patch. The second set I wearing 4 necro potents, all in impen and max magicka. Yeah, they are all light. And the monster set which I choose is Valkin Skoria. The head is heavy and the shoulder is medium, and there I have 8% chance to summon a meteor and make a flame damage on the ground every 5 seconds. On both bar I have 4 different chances to proc Skoria, and there you have a second choice. If you don't have the elegant, which is expensive, you could choose also the Inferno Necropotent stuff and also the Resto on the back bar, and so with the chest and 3 jewelry makes 5, and you can swap necropotence or elegant how you like. And also for the new method for the summersent, I will make understand that there we have Molag Kena, which the first trait gives 126 of weapon damage and 126 of spell damage, and when you do 2 light attacks overkill over 6 seconds, that you can reapply every 6 seconds 500 of additional spell and magic damage, and not increases the light attacks cost. Yeah, there we have why I have not inner light there. I chose it Flame of Oblivion because every 5 seconds dures for 15 seconds, makes 3 fireballs, every fireball the most crit 10k, so I put under pressure and have the major savagery too, like inner light, but I miss 5% of Magicka, but it's okay. And so when now we testing just without making any damage, I look just the Flame of Oblivion, which the range are 50 meters, so you have to get a little bit closer for this buff on, because every ball will sneer them for 4 seconds, and if a ball comes every 5 seconds in, will sneer him the whole time. Every time when you apply this fireball comes out, sneers him for 4 seconds. Important to understand. When you keep it up, he sneers the whole time. Elemental Drain. This is for your major breach over 24 seconds, 5200 of you reduce the spell resistances, and very important for 24 seconds 300 of Magicka every light and heavy attack. This is your sustain. Degeneration. This is a magic or dime which can proc Skoria, heals you a little bit over time, and while you active your light and heavy attack against the enemy, have a 15% chance to heal you for 150% of the damage caused. The major savage I don't need, I have then on the back bar this double slot, but this is main for in the middle when you read, so I can take back my health at the same time when I light and heavy attack. And this you can proc from really far away, also from 36 meters in the PvP, and can proc Skoria. Holy shit, there it took its 13 seconds to proc Skoria, but you see can proc also immediately like other. Dumped Magicka is your shield on the main bar, really important, 60k of damage for 6 seconds, and each piece of light damage increases 6%. So, and while I have 5 light armor on my body, and so that will be increased by a 30%, like hardened board, same, pretty cool and very sturdy. Like Mam Spam, we have direct damage, crushing shock that can hit 11k of damage, and while another is casting something, you interrupt and set him off balance and stun it for 3 seconds. So when he's stunned for 3 seconds, I choose my heavy attack in. Take flight. Makes physical damage, 15k of physical damage, 28 meters. This is not increased in the PvP, will be same 28 meters. And you knock back, and you see by the ability here, when I increases my spell damage by 20% by the molten armament, you see this is just spell damage and not the weapon damage, is the other morph. Then it's really strange that here goes to 16.8, so will be increased the physical damage same, also if that is magic. Then the volatile armor is your resistances, 5280 over 20 seconds, and makes a magic damage over time, 8700 over 10 seconds. When you apply that in the radius, you can expose the night badge which are hidden, and while it's active, you returns 1521 of magic damage to the melee attacker's magic damage back. Really functional and looks pretty cool. Mostly I fly in and then I apply this dot over time, and also on the proc test have to proc Skoria. Here we go. And yeah, the next is Molten Armament, which is key for this build because gives you spell damage by 20% over 40 seconds. That's very long, and more important, because key of this build, your own damage with a fully charged heavy attack is increased by 40%. That's insane. I put the scales, then I fossilize him, stunning them for 3 seconds, and when the effects end, he take 4200 of magic damage and he's immobilizer for 3 seconds. This is my only immobilizer in this. I have knockback or stunner, immobilizer, and this cannot be blocked or dodged. Very cool and needed for battle. Then the healing ward, this is your crap shit button, oho. So when I got less health, I press this 2, maximum 3 times in a row, and my health is back. But let's see how I do this when I play normal. I cast this is 6 seconds, and then immediately I cast dump magic on the top, so he will expires the max health of the shield from the how can I explain that, from the healing ward. At the end will gives you a health back, and yeah, depends how you want it. Increased by 300% when you are badly wounded, so heal up much better. 7100 of damage absorbs and heal you for 2800, but this is much more increased when it's heavy fights, and I pretty love it. Dragon Fire Scale, this is also very functional, because when I got under pressure and I see that many projectiles come in by him, I put this scale on him, got peace for 6 seconds. I can absorb or swap back, reflect these projectiles, which will be increased by 35%. Is this possible to swap back a meteor? Delivering Swarm makes magic damage every second 4300 and heals you up for 3100 by every enemy around. So when 10 enemies around, at 30k of health every second. Really functional, very cool, this ulti by the vampire. Champion points 37 in 15% for break free, then 75 in the Siphoner, reducing their 14% for 3 seconds by the light and heavy attack, stamina, magicka and health. Tenacity, I restore a 14%, together with the stuff makes 45%, and tumbling 15%, shattering ward for blocking 7%, Elf Bone at 20%, then 10%, and also because Arcanwell and all that. And here we go with 30% on a light and heavy attack, with Molten Armament already 70%, etc, etc. Master of Arms, which are like take flight or light and heavy attacks, are direct damage, don't forget that. And also on the Butcher, when he's low health, increases by a 5%, and when I dodge roll, I set them off balance, that I choose it for me, nothing there, nothing here. Iron Cloud, 16% for direct damage, may a little bit more if you like. There we have a 20% versus thick skin, damage over time, 32, because all these passives I need, the most important for my Magicka build, is Unchained on this build, and 20% of Bastion for my shield, which makes me much sturdier, and yeah, that's it. Important passives for this build, DK passives to know, while I'm using Flame of Oblivion and this ball is up every 5 seconds, I have increased the damage of your burning status effects by 50%, and here you reduce the enemy movement speed by 30% for 4 seconds. So if you can keep up this, every 5 seconds he sneers it practically the whole time. And the Battle Roar passive, really important, and here I restore 3 of ulti every 6 seconds, together with light and heavy attack counter. I restore both ulti pretty much fast, which costs really much less. And Fossilize and Molten Armament, every time when I press it, I restore a 990 of stamina, really important for the destruction stuff, while I use Crushing Shock and Alot Rain. I have here 12% of additional flame damage on a fully charged heavy attack, which stacks up with the whole build. Ignores the 10% of spell resistance. Then the status effect by Burning Concussion 100%. And while I have a flame stuff ability slot on the main bar, is this direct skill Crushing Shock increased by 8%, and all skills on the main bar while slotted flame. And when I kill 3600. then while I have the generation on my main bar and I cast it, I have a 50% chance to make 20% more damage for 5 seconds on direct damage. Really cool. 4% of additional flame damage while I high elf, and here 12% on a heavy charge it, at 30% from the champs, at 20% from the elegant, and 40% from the mold armament. Makes then we have high elf, Destro staff, staff expert, elegant set, and DK skills, a total of 106% of a heavy attack, and that's pretty sick. Yeah, let's see. The rotation is pretty, you cannot say rotation in the PvP, but there I buff up my resistances, alot rain, then Proria already scrogs from the generation. I tried to keep him up. Heavy attacks, it was no critin, no critin. Okay, 25 plus Skoria. And so also with the Resto stuff I can pretty much immobilize them. Let's see, buff. That was getting bold, take flight and the heavy attack. Then I made him under pressure, set him off balanced. The Oblivion makes mostly can crit good too from under pressure and it's near him. You cannot see this on the robust target skeleton because got a lot of resistances, so on the PvE you hit over 50k on the mobs, and here shielded or with resistances is like that. So you see already the second ult, this goes pretty much fast. I can with light and heavy attacks from both counter, and then also with the scales I dodge roll for setting him off balance, then I met him under pressure with the crushing shock the whole time. When he wanna cast something he cannot cast, and then he's stunned, and then I charge him so he cannot block me. When I come near I try always to keep up from behind the scales and also the fossilize, which I cannot do on this target dummy because it's too big. Bam, inside, again Flame of Oblivion, again scales, sometimes I have to dodge all of balanced he is, then next heavy, or depends what he do, I crush shock, sometimes when I see when I attack, then I go ahead, 25, 25, whoa, 3 times in a row 25, okay they're not, there again 25, it's great, I shield me, then set him off balance, again scales, fossilize, dodge roll, set him off balanced, when I make a heavy attack he's immobilized for 3.5 seconds every 10 seconds by the poison, and the same fossilize will immobilize him too. Then bam, I go in, meteor goes and I met him under pressure. Here we go with Inner Light and Molag Kena for the next patch meta, which I find 2 light attacks, then you proc score 3700 of spell damage, 41k of max Magicka while Inner Light slotted, pretty cool. And let's see if I do with Molag Kena a heavy attack. Bam! 50k damage plus 26 in 2 seconds. Good night. Then I put under pressure a little bit. We make just heavy attacks for see how that goes. Again, crit are not bad. It's not every time, but for a 42% of crit, pretty good. If you wanna boost up that to 30k, you have to do 2 light attacks between. But sometimes you don't have the time, and 26k, that's okay. Light attack 30% in Summerset, so let's see. Crit, not crit, crit, not crit, not crit, not crit, crit, not crit, 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 not crit, 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 not crit, 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 not crit, 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 not crit, not crit, not crit, 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 crit. You know what I mean? 30% decrease in next patch. Light attack will stack up to 12 or 13k on a light attack when the heavy attack makes 30k. Good night. Fatal combo. I show you how to make over I think 90 or 100k of damage in a fatal combo. This was not written, but there 30k of damage. Then I fly in with 50k, makes 80k, makes 106.